All right, we want to take you live to a news conference taking place outside the Chinese Consulate in San Francisco. Let's listen in.
In the lobby of the Chinese Consulate, officers entered, made contact with the suspect, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. Officers rendered aid, and they had summoned paramedics from the San Francisco Fire Department. And in spite of the life-saving efforts of the police officers, firefighter, paramedics, and personnel at the hospital, the suspect was later pronounced deceased at the hospital. This is an open and active investigation, and the San Francisco Police Department is currently working and coordinating with investigators from the U.S. State Department. There's very little information that we can give at this time, and we do ask that if anyone was a witness, if anyone has any video, we know there's some cell phone video that's already circulating out there, to please contact investigators. Anything that you can, lend to this would certainly be helpful. And we will be having a town hall within 10 days of this incident.
What can you tell us about the suspect?
We don't have any information about the suspect at this time. Of course, this is a unique investigation because it did happen inside the lobby of the Chinese Consulate. So there's a number of agencies and jurisdictions that are involved. So this is far different than our normal officer-involved shooting, which really does unfortunately impact the amount of information that we can give to you at this time.
Are you the lead agency?
We're working to determine the lead agency and who's conducting the investigation. As with any OIS, our other investigators are here from Internal Affairs Division, our Investigative Services Detail, the DA's Office, Independent Investigation Bureau, as well as the Department of Police Accountability, but we don't yet know what that investigation is going to look like.
Was he armed? And were there other weapons inside his car?
I don't have any information on that I can talk about this time.
But the suspect was driving the car?
Pardon?
The suspect was the person driving the car? Where's the car?
That's the information that I have, is that the person that we were involved in officer-involved shooting was connected with the vehicle inside the consulate.
How many people were in the lobby at this time? Was that
It is the visa office. I don't know how many people were involved or were inside the visa office at the time of the collision.
Anybody else injured?
Not that we've been notified about.
Did he demand where the CCP was? Did he ask for the coverage?
I don't have any information on that.
Was the suspect wearing some kind of uniform?
I don't have any information on that.
Any idea of the motive?
No, we don't have any information regarding a motive, and unfortunately, there's really nothing more that we can.
Did he purposely crash into that building, or was that...
This investigation is still ongoing. There's very little information we can divulge at this time. Thank you, everyone. I wish I could give you more at this time, but like I said earlier, this is a very complex investigation involving...
All right, we've been listening into San Francisco police describing what they could give us, limited information on what happened. We did learn, though, that the suspect who was involved in all of this was killed after being shot by police. We understand that, according to police, that suspect was driving the vehicle that crashed into the front of the Chinese Consulate. And, of course, that typically is a pretty busy building.
Well, it's the visa office in there as well. They did say that at this point they do not believe anyone else was injured. They didn't really let us know how many people were inside at the time, but again, no one else injured. They still don't have a motive, and they're also still trying to figure out who's going to lead the investigation into this, because it's not your average police-involved shooting. It's the Chinese Consulate.
My understanding is that should be treated as Chinese soil when you get involved in diplomatic, embassies and consulates, so that this shooting could have actually taken place on Chinese property.
They said it was inside the lobby.
So that you would think, so we're kind of in an international situation here with this, and tensions between the U.S. and China are a little high right now as it is. Not a good time for something like this to happen anytime, but now even worse.
We'll continue to give you updates as we receive them tonight.
Absolutely.